Shut up and sit down.
Hello, my friend. You are listening to the Dance Studio Scaled podcast, the number one place for innovative marketing, retention strategies, and business growth ideas made just for dance studio owners. Now, this isn't your average business podcast. We're here to shake things up, simplify the hustle, and focus on real, actionable insights. I'm your host, Jen Dalton, and after 30 years of running studios, coaching owners, and scaling businesses, I know one thing's for sure: there's no one size fits all in this industry. You've got the passion, and I've got the tools to help you take it to the next level. So hit that subscribe button, grab a coffee, and let's scale your studio together. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Dance Studio Scaled podcast. All right, real talk. If you're listening to this in real time, you are most probably just starting back your year. Maybe you're starting next week. I know it is imminent for so many of you right now, and I just want to talk through that, the idea of that, and the feeling of, being nervous and not sure, and feel like you haven't had a break. That idea, which is something that I really, really get, because even after running my studio for 30 years, I would still feel that every single January before starting back a new year. And I mean, in the end, and I've said it to you before, I would literally wake up on January 2nd and I could not get the start of the year out of my head. And I got to a point where I said, why am I feeling like this after all these years? I'm so planned and prepared, and I have my team sorted. So everything was happening exactly how it needed to. But the truth was, I was still feeling this way because I really cared. I cared deeply for the students. I cared about the team. I cared about the community. And I care about doing things really well. Also, the results that we could achieve. And so I would hazard a guess that you are feeling very similar, and that's why. It is because you care. It's because of the time and effort that you are putting in. There is that, it's almost an expectation that things should go right and things should go really well. So if you are feeling a little on edge or a little overwhelmed as you're heading into the new term, let me just say this: it is totally normal. In fact, I actually think it's a good thing because it means you're intentional about what you're creating, and what you want is to give your best. But the key is to not let those nerves take over, and instead we want to channel that energy into confidence and momentum. So I thought in today's episode I would share just 3 simple steps to help you feel ready and confident as you kick off this new year. So again, I want these steps to be practical. I want them to be actionable and things that you can start doing right away. All right, so let's jump into it. So the first thing is just stop worrying about what others are doing. I'm starting with this one because it is such a big one and so real for so many of you, and that is comparison. If you're scrolling through TikTok, maybe you're seeing other studios posting about their shiny new programs, their fancy facilities, packed classes, or suddenly like you've started questioning yourself. What am I doing? I'm not keeping up. And you start thinking, I'm not, everyone else is further ahead than me. Well, I just want to tell you to stop. I know how tempting it is to look at what others are doing, and there actually is a place for it. But I want you right now to not be worrying about that. Your time and energy and thought needs to be going into your studio right now as you're starting back. Stop asking yourself, should I be doing that? Am I falling behind? Because here's the thing, what works for someone else might not, most probably not work for you. And that's okay. Your studio is yours for a reason. You've built it around your vision, your values, and your strengths. So instead of comparing, ask yourself these questions. What makes your studio unique? What do your students and their families love about what you do? And how can you then further lean into your strengths and that point of difference? Remember, the families who are attracted to you, who whether it's through your messaging, seeing you online, they're with you for a reason. And it's because they believe in what you offer. You don't need to be everything to everyone. Just focus on being the best version of yourself and delivering what your studio does best. That's where you're going to see success. Comparison is just noise, and honestly, it's a distraction. In saying that, we all feel it. I still have moments of distraction, of comparison as well, and it is a distraction for me. But it's just when you're feeling that way, it's time to stop and reground yourself and just get back in focus about what it is you're offering, your vision, your values. The time and energy that you spend worrying about others could be spent creating, improving, and focusing on your studio. So just let go of that idea, focusing on you and your families. Okay, the next one. Now, this one might be a little bit controversial, and controversial and me don't go hand in hand because I personally don't love to polarize. However, this does need to be said. Step 2 is don't buy into the noise. All right, let's talk about another big distraction, particularly at the moment. And that's this negativity that we keep hearing about with financial challenges, kids doing fewer classes, families pulling back. For sure, it is there's stuff happening and there's stuff we need to be aware of. However, I want to just be blunt. This is just noise. Now, for sure, things are feeling different this year, but it doesn't mean it's all doom and gloom. In fact, the studio owners I am working with at the moment in the mastermind right now are starting back with record number enrollments, fresh new offers, and teams that are completely aligned, ready to take on 2025. Success is possible and it's happening all around you. It's just simply that the noise takes over. The negativity is louder than the positivity in most cases on your feed and what you're hearing. And what it does, it then just puts doubt in your mind. And then what I feel, again, being, a little bit controversial, I think sometimes we almost can use that as an excuse. So, how do you block out the noise? And it's simply you just need to focus on what you can control. Okay, let me say that again. Just focus on what you can control. So think about what new opportunities can you create this year? Are there fresh offers that you can introduce to attract new families? Or maybe it's about doubling down on what's working. Like if you've seen something that's working really well, how about doubling down on that instead of trying to add? And also, how can you then adapt to the current climate while still staying true to your studio's mission? Now, this could look like a timetable restructure. This could look like packaging. It could look like slight tweaks in the way you're running your classes. But I really just do encourage you, just block out what everybody else is doing, focus in on what you can control. This is the time right now to revisit your point of difference. And I know if you listen to my podcast, I talk about this all the time, but it's the thing that makes your studio stand out. And that's one of the biggest questions I get when I'm speaking with studio owners. How can I stand out? I'm surrounded by studios. I'm in an area where there's multiple choices. Let me tell you, that was definitely me. I had a studio open up like literally 4 doors down from mine. I was unit 10, she was unit 5. So, maybe your difference is the way you teach. It might be the community atmosphere that you have. Maybe it is the unique programs that you offer. Whatever it is, double down on it. Because families aren't just looking for dance lessons, they're looking for connection, they're looking for belonging and something special. Now, you already have that. You just need to make sure that your messaging now reflects that. And don't let that external noise dictate your mindset or your actions, because that is what's happening. So if you stay focused on your strengths and take intentional steps forward, you'll then find success no matter the challenges around you. We have to take on board what it is, then we need to tweak it to make it work for us. And this is nothing new, right? Financial struggles aren't new. This happens, cyclically. So it's just about a matter of staying in front and changing. Just stay proactive about it. On the side note, I do understand how exhausting that is, but what I'm trying to do is reduce the other stuff. So reduce that external noise so it's not controlling you. You just need to focus on what you can control. Okay, moving on. The next one, step 3, is to take control of your visibility. Now, this is a huge one, and honestly, it's where many studio owners are missing the mark, because visibility isn't about marketing, it's about consistently reminding your community why you are the best choice. Now, it's now easier than ever with the way we can integrate AI into your studio. So saving you time, but still allowing for that personal connection. Because remember, we want to utilize AI to save you time and save you energy in certain areas. But it's also what it is freeing up time for that personal touch that we need to do. Now, if you're waiting for students just to show up, or you're relying on passive enrollments, it's time to now shift that approach and be proactive about it. So here's a few ways you can take control of your visibility. The first thing is connecting with your current families. So I know the focus, particularly at this time of year, is on getting new enrollments, attracting new families into your studio, which of course is very important. However, I want you to take a focus on the current families that are in your studios. How can you connect with them? Picking up the phone and calling them. Now, the phone call is a lost art. We are so hiding behind emails. We're hiding behind messages. It's so much easier to do it this way. However, between you and me, this is going to be a big difference for numbers this year. If you are picking up the phone and checking in, if it's not you, maybe you have a team you can delegate this to, but check in, see how they're doing, and remind them about how excited you are to have them and their children back in your classes. Those personal connections go a really long way. And they don't have to be long. It can be just a really quick, hey, how are you going? Just wanted to let you know we love having you at the studio, or so-and-so is doing great in class. Just wanted to let you know. That was it. And you can hang up. Think about it, particularly if you're a parent. Think about what that would mean to you if someone reached out and made that phone call, and it was just more as a check-in. It wasn't asking for anything. It was just letting you know that they're loving on you. So think about that. I know if you don't like phone calls, I am that person. I really don't like picking up the phone. However, if you want success, as I said, between you and me, this is going to be the difference with the success and numbers this year. Next one is just highlighting your wins. And it doesn't necessarily mean competition wins. I'm talking about connection wins. I'm talking about student wins and family wins. Sharing those testimonials in all different formats. Be really creative with how you can share testimonials. Getting reviews on Google. How can you be clever about sharing those? Success stories behind the scenes, those moments that you have that you can share. So share them on socials, share them with your families. Let people see the magic that's actually happening in your studio every day. Of course, we want dance. They want to see the dance side of things, but there's also layers deeper than that. It's up to you to really highlight that. And the third point on this one is just showing up consistently. So whether it's on social media, emails, or through community events, you want to make sure that people see and hear from you regularly, with a caveat that you're not always asking for things. It's not always about, I need you to do this. This is what you need. I want you to try and switch your thinking a little bit. There are definitely going to be emails where that needs to happen. However, I want you to think about those touch points about giving instead of taking. What are you giving? What can you give people? And it doesn't even have to be a physical thing. It can be an emotional thing. It can be confidence. It can be giving, showing the friendships building up. What is it? Because visibility is all about staying top of mind. And then I also want to say, if you are regularly reaching out and touch points with families and contact, I want you to also think about not overwhelming them or bombarding them. So It's a very fine balance. Have a think about what a plan might look like throughout the year, how often you can just reach out with those emails or the phone calls or the social media where it's just about giving. And remember, visibility isn't only about attracting new students. It's about nurturing the ones that you already have. That's where the phone call comes in. Or even if it is a quick personal email can go a long way, or a handwritten note. It's just a way in strengthening those relationships and building loyalty. All right, so they are the 3 steps. I want to talk about something else now, and it's just the power of taking responsibility. Because here's the reality. As studio owners, the responsibility is on us to create the success we want. If something isn't working, we need to change it. We need to pivot. We need to try something different. If enrollments aren't where you want them to be, you need to look at why. Is it the messaging? Is it the visibility? Or is it the offers? What is it that you need to adjust? Because it's not about making excuses or waiting for things to get easier. It's about taking ownership of the process and trusting that action builds confidence. So if you're feeling unsure or stuck, just start small. Take one step today, whether that's reaching out to a family, whether it's updating your website with new copy, with new photos, or even testimonials, or whether it's brainstorming ideas. Just let that momentum build, because confidence doesn't come from waiting, it comes from doing. Okay, so quick recap of those 3 steps to feel ready and confident as you start back for 2025. The first one is don't worry what others are doing, stay in your own lane. The second one is don't buy into the noise, particularly with the financial challenges that are going on and fewer enrollments and class movements. Don't buy into it. And the third one is taking control of your visibility. So starting back may feel overwhelming, but it's also an incredible opportunity to set the tone for your best year yet. Those nerves are just a sign that you care. They don't have to hold you back. Instead, I want you to use those to fuel action, focus on your strengths, and then you can then build the studio of your dreams. Take the studio to where you want it to go. All right, thank you so much for tuning in today. If this episode resonated with you, I would love to hear your thoughts. Send me a DM on Instagram or share this episode with other studio owners who might need a little boost. You've got this, and I can't wait to hear about all the incredible things that you're going to achieve this year. But until next time, take care, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in to the Dance Studio Scaled podcast. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other studio owners who would love it too. And let's keep the conversation going. Follow me on Instagram at Jen Dalton for more tips, insights, and behind-the-scenes moments to help you simplify and scale your studio. Until next time, keep dreaming big and taking action. I'll see you back here soon.